babes, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So it's been a while since I kept you guys updated and I thought I can't keep you guys waiting any longer. You guys could probably tell from the title, I'm 1 month post my gastric sleeve surgery. If you guys have been following me along the whole time, hi. This is me 1 month up. It's been a rocky journey, but I wanted to make a video sitting down just explaining my entire experience with everything, my hospital experience, what it was like 1 week back off home. I wanted to sit down and go through absolutely everything because I know I did make a vlog, but I was pretty much out of it the entire time, and I did say I was going to make this video in there. So if you guys are waiting for all the gruesome and lovely details here, you're going to get them today. As I said before, I do have a bunch of my other videos talking about the surgery before I even got it. So if you guys want to watch them first, then I can pop a little taggy up there or put some of the videos in the link down below. Or you can just watch this one. I don't mind. I'm going to take you guys all the way back to before I even went into hospital. So I had my hospital bag packed and everything ready to go. I have a hospital bag video up already if you guys want to see what's in there. I didn't really use much of what I put in there just because I did go private. So a lot of the things like the earphones, the mask, and just stuff like that I didn't end up using because I had my own private room, so I could shut the door and it could be dark. So I go to the hospital, we find the car parking spot, we go in. It was a little bit of a maze in there, but they had like signage and everything, but we ended up walking around for like 10 minutes to try and find where we even were meant to be, and we were there pretty early. I was meant to be admitted at 6:30, but they called me the day before saying I was actually being admitted at 6. So that kind of like changed a little bit of the routine, but it was fine. It was all good. We got in there, it was about 5:45 maybe. We got in, only sitting down for a little bit, and then they called me up and just double checked some details. Then they took us into another waiting room. We were to wait to be actually go in to like prep me for surgery. Everything went really quick, like we weren't really waiting for very long. I kind of just went through. I was the first one on the list, which was a bit scary for me. So I was the first one up that day. The first one he was doing that day. So my surgery time was 7:30. Anyway, they took me into the just to get me prepped up, asked me a few questions, any allergies, like double checking all of my things. They took my blood pressure and all that. Then they put my pressure band socks on. So if you guys don't know, you're gonna have to wear pressure band socks just to keep the blood circulation going in your legs because you're gonna be lying down for a while. I was very nervous, so like this is my first major surgery. I've only ever had my tonsils taken out, so we could say this is a bit of a step up from that. I was able to like kind of relax myself, and then they were like, okay, we're gonna give you some pre-medication for the surgery. So it's just like anxiety pills just to kind of calm you down so you don't freak out when you're going into theatre. They gave me those. About 10 minutes went by and I could feel it kicking in. Like it's like the feeling of being like tipsy on the verge of drunk. Like everything kind of just lags, and I was having a fat time. It was great. I was just like chatting with me mum, and then my anesthesiologist walks in and introduces himself. I had no idea he was my anesthesiologist because I was that out of it. But anyway, they were able to keep my tongue piercing in, which was a blessing, and my nose, so I didn't have to take them out. I just had to replace my tongue for a plastic one. So I was so thankful for that because that hurt to get done and I was not getting that redone if it was to close up during the surgery. Finally, it came to time for me to go into theatre, and they were like rolling me in, and I'm like, bye mom, see you later. Like I was so out of it. But that's just the drugs talking, not me. If I didn't have those pre-drugs, I feel like I would have been freaking out, but it wasn't actually that bad. Like everyone was super sweet and nice and encouraging anyway, so like it was a really calm environment. But anyway, they wheeled me into theatre, and there's this other like woman waiting to go in as well. I think she was after me. So I'm just like, we're waving to each other like, hey, good luck. And it was kind of fun because obviously we're both really out of it. And then it comes to time and they're like wheeling me in, and I was quite nervous because what I remembered from getting my tonsils out was being put on like a really cold table, and that's what I was freaking out about. I was like, I'm gonna be put on this cold table, I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna be like, ah, sort of thing. But they wheeled me in, and it was actually a really comfortable bed. They just popped me onto the bed. I was just kind of like sitting there like looking around in theatre like, oh, hey guys. Mind you, they hadn't put any needles in me yet. Like I had like only had this pre-drug, and I was like, aren't you guys meant to stab me with something? Because I'm like very afraid of needles, so I was like very concerned for that part. And they're like, oh no, not yet. So I was kind of just like sitting there. Oh, I'm so sorry for the rain, guys. If it's really bad, I apologize. Unfortunately, I couldn't convince the weather to be nice for me today. We'll just wait for this to pass, I guess. So anyway, they put the oxygen mask over me and just like telling me to like relax. And I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna have this on until they like stab me with the needle to put me to sleep. So I was waiting for this needle because I was like preparing myself for what I was about to go through. And then all of a sudden I'm just like, nah, knocked out, asleep. I didn't have to experience the needle or anything. They did it, like they put me to sleep first. And I was like, okay, I'm chill with that. I don't really remember waking up. It was a kind of a blur for me. It was more so like, I remember like a few minutes after waking up because they wheeled me into like my room. And I was just waking up and then I see my mum and I'm going, Mom, I did it. And all I can think now is like, the doctors are probably like, you didn't do shit, bitch, you just laid there asleep. But like, I was so proud of myself. I was so fucking terrified. I was like, I'm not gonna wake up. Oh. So when I like woke up, I was like, oh my god, it happened. I did it. Did it work? And they're like, yeah, we did it. I'm like, oh my god, you did it. I do have a little clip. I got my mom to film a little clip of me out of it. So if you guys want to watch that, I'm gonna insert it now. I'm just pre-warning you, it's quite cringy. I don't remember any of this, but here you go. Here's a little clip. So Chloe has just come out of surgery. How are you feeling, baby girl?
I'm a little bit sore, mostly tired.
Just tired? You just need to sleep, sweet cakes, okay?
Okay, I will go sleep.
Alright, you have a sleep, okay? I love you. The first day, all I can really remember is just being in and out of sleep the whole day. I didn't necessarily wake up in like pain. I just remember everyone telling me that when you wake up, the first thing you think is, what the fuck did I just do, sort of thing. I didn't get that at all. I was more like just like uncomfortable, not necessarily in pain. So like I was just drifting in and out of sleep, like kind of uncomfortable. But for me it wasn't necessarily like a pain sensation, because obviously you're still like pretty out of it the whole, like for your first day. But yeah, for me it was just more an uncomfortable sensation. So by the afternoon, I was like kind of more awake and able to go to the bathroom and stuff. So every single time I had to go to the bathroom, all I can remember was having this like pressure socks on me, and I had to unplug every single time I wanted to get up and go to the toilet. Obviously they're pumping liquid into you like there's no tomorrow, so you're gonna need to go to the toilet. So they had to unplug my socks, unplug my little thingamabob. Well, not really unplug it, they just like had to unplug it from the wall so that I could like carry it into the toilet. And they had to like measure like how much you went to the toilet, which is a little bit weird. But yeah, every single time I had to go to the toilet, they had to do that process. So I think by the end of it, the nurses were a little bit annoyed, but everyone was super friendly anyway. So I wouldn't be able to tell. I was like, I'm so sorry, I have to pee again. And they were like, that's okay. And I'm like, is it? So the first night, I was pretty awake because I'd been sleeping the whole day. But what I did notice is I did have quite a bit of gas pain. So if you don't already know, during the surgery, they pump you full of gas just to like blow up your stomach so that they can actually like get in and do things. So to get rid of that gas, you need to burp it out. I don't know how to force myself to burp, so I was stuck with this gas for quite a bit. They do recommend you walking around a lot, so by the first night I was up walking around the hospital just like with my little like thing, like walking around like half the fucking sleep. But I had to get this damn gas out. When you're walking around, you don't really feel like you're gonna get gas out, but then as soon as you stop walking around, sit back down, it like starts to come up. So it really does help, even though it doesn't feel like at the time it's gonna help. But trust me, it helps. In terms of vomiting and stuff like that, I was just like, when I got up, I did feel a little bit lightheaded and I did dry reach a few times, but I didn't get much vomiting at all. For my first sleep, it was probably not until like a little bit early, like maybe about 12:01, I did eventually was able to get to sleep, because I'm a side sleeper and sleeping on your side is quite painful because you can't move, like you can't move without that uncomfortable pain feeling. Just because, you know, they just like ripped out your inside sort of thing. So like, you gotta be careful. I wanted to sleep on my side, so it was quite hard for me to do that. And I did also during the night have, like, I kept waking up because I had a bit of the gas stuck underneath my ribs. So every time I breathed, it would be like pressure on my ribs, and that I will say was quite painful, but I just found myself having to get up and keep going for walks. And eventually I was able to like just release a little bit of that pain so that I could go to sleep. And obviously they'll pump me up with drugs as well, so I was fine. My second day in hospital was a bit better. I was like sitting up, like being responsive, like just chatting and stuff. I did have some uncomfort, but obviously I'm on painkillers, so I didn't really have much pain. And that went for the second and third day. So you have to, they give you like a little like cup, and it like measures out, I think it's like 30, it's like a shot glass, and you have to be like sipping that constantly. I thought it was one sip per 15 minutes. So when the like lady came in to be like, all right, how's your water? I'm like, I'm doing great, I'm sipping every 15 minutes. And she's like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm sipping every 15 minutes. And she's like, no, you have to have one cup every 15 minutes. And I was like, okay. So by the end of it, like I just had, like my mum was there and she's like, drink, 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 drink. Because if you don't drink enough, they don't let you go home. Because obviously you need to be able to retain the fluids and stuff like that. So I was just like pretty much being forced to like drink as much as I can so that they will let me go home. Each night they did bring me a tray of like stuff that I would need to drink, not necessarily eat because you can't eat. And when they were bringing like teas, the tea was nice. I found the tea, like the second day I was like drinking more tea because it was just, it was flavor and it was warm and it was like just really nice, and the tea was really nice. So I had sips out of that, not much at all. But they bring like orange juice and they bring like broth as well. So I think one night I got chicken broth and then the next night I had beef broth. Both of it just tastes like watered down meat fat. That's kind of what it tasted like. It wasn't the best. It was very, very salty. I was probably able to have like maybe two like teaspoons out of it. That was it. Like I wasn't really having much of the broth. It was more the liquid that I was trying to get down. Like I was watering down the apple and orange juice, having the tea and stuff like that. That was more so what I was eating. So then third day around 12-ish, maybe 1, I was discharged. So they just came in with a bunch of tablets and stuff and was like, here you go, take these home. They like took out my hand thing, which mind you, that hurt for a few days after. That was like painful. Like my whole hand had like bruised up really bad, and they told me I was allowed to go home. My surgeon did come and check on, he did come and check on me on the second day and the third day, just for like literally 2 seconds, popped his head in and said, hey, everything went really well, how are you feeling? I said, good, all that stuff, and he's like, okay, bye. I got really lucky, I guess. Like they did say that I was one of the better patients that came out of it. A lot of people do get all like the really bad vomiting and like really bad gas pain. Mine was like, my gas pain was bad. Like I did have to walk around a lot just to get that gas out, especially because I don't know how to force myself to burp. So I had to like make it come up by walking around, and had like my partner patting my back a lot just to like try and get it out. And that's really the worst pain that's the pain I felt in hospital, was just the gas pain. Obviously I was uncomfortable and it was sore in my belly, but I think like the gas pain kind of overtook like what my main priority was because of how much it was affecting me. My whole hospital experience overall, I would say, was amazing. The staff were amazing. Everyone was super helpful and polite. It was just overall a great experience. I would say that I did definitely get the lucky end of the straw with my after surgery pain and stuff like that. It's not always going to go smoothly. For example, my mum, she had a reaction to the anesthetic, so her hospital experience wasn't as pleasurable, so she was a bit jelly that I was going so well. But it's just down to like personally like how you handle things and stuff like that. So that was overall my hospital experience. As I said, everyone's experience is going to be different. I just had a really great one. with my surgeon and my hospital, and I'm like so like appreciative of all the staff and everyone that helped me along the way. Like it was a really like everyone who came visit me, they just made it such a better experience having that support team. So I'm gonna have to wrap up this video here and talk about my first day and first week back at home after the surgery in my next video. So I hope you guys tune in to watch that one as well. That one I'll just be talking about what I ate, how my days went, my first night home and stuff like that. So if you're interested in knowing anything from what happened after the hospital, that video is for you. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. It has been amazing having you guys follow me along during this journey. For people who've been there since my first gastric sleeve video I made like 8 months ago, thank you so much. I really appreciate everyone's support, and for everyone who's messaging me about their surgeries and when they're having them and when they did have them, I would say congratulations my fellow sleeve members. As I said, everyone's experience is different, but everyone's experience is valid, and I love hearing your guys' experiences as well. I hope to see you guys in my next video, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Love you guys. Bye.